Well, the one last thing I want to talk about is the film Wreck-It Ralph, or Wreck-It Ralph 2, or Ralph Breaks the Internet. So obviously, I could spend a lot of time talking about why it's flawed. I can spend a lot of time talking about how we have way too many animated sequels. We need to stop. We need more original content out there. And we need, especially if there's going to be a sequel, we need to stop having these sequels that literally do not have to exist, that have no reason to exist whatsoever. The biggest problems, though, when it comes to Wreck-It Ralph, and this is something that I've mentioned before in my reviews on Letterboxd and also over on Twitter as well, is that basically the writers and directors and creators of the movie spend the most time trying to put as many product placements in it as possible. And it's not like the fun type of product placements where, you know, it's a Facebook symbol, but it doesn't say Facebook. It's off-brand so as to avoid copyright, and then you don't have to pay royalties. No. As soon as they enter the internet, literally every single major corporation is being represented. So that was my first problem, was because they spent way too much time trying to give that kind of that kind of showcasing to the actual product placements rather than focusing on the story of the film. So I really do think that it kind of detracted from it. But the biggest problem that I had with Wreck-It Ralph is the message that it says at the very end of the film. Because obviously there's some story elements that I think are disjointed, and I can go even deeper into objectively with the problems with it. But the biggest problem with the overall movie is the message that it tells about Vanellope. So if anyone doesn't know any of the story, in the first Wreck-It Ralph movie, Vanellope is a character in Candy Crush. Vanellope has this issue where she has a what's it called? A glitch. And so therefore she is kept from competing in the actual game. Eventually the evil person is, I don't want to spoil anything, but is overthrown, and then eventually she's established into the game. So she starts to get bored with her life. The internet is now introduced into the actual video game arcade, and so now they have access to be able to get there. And what they want to try and do is they want to try and save the shop because the game ends up breaking. They need to get some. As my dogs freak out, they need to get something on eBay, and so therefore they need to try and figure it out. Now the problem comes in with the fact that at the end of the movie, the whole time, there's a tension that's building up between Vanellope and Ralph, because they obviously had, they had been trying to make very clear their. So getting back to Wreck-It Ralph for a second, the biggest problem is that Vanellope at the very end of the movie has a very strong tension with Ralph, and their friendship starts to break apart. And the message of the film, because eventually they actually go separate ways, and the message of the film is that Vanellope wants to chase her dreams, wants to fulfill her dreams. And Ralph realizes, oh, I can't be selfish and hold her back for my own sake. And some people might just stop there and say, okay, well, I don't see the problem. The problem is that she, Vanellope, has a responsibility to all the other characters in her game, because she and they do not know what will happen to the game if she's not a part of it, because obviously she's a part of the code of the game, and she is very crucial to it. And so instead of focusing on that, though, the message of the film is that, no. You go and pursue your dreams no matter what is behind you. Forsake anyone who needs to be forsaken. Do whatever it is you need to do to pursue your dreams. And that is a terrible message for our kids, for young girls. And I mean, this is liberal indoctrination right here. This is the same type of modern-day third-wave feminism that we're seeing, where, no. Don't let anything weigh you down. Pursue your dreams no matter what. Motherhood, that's a weight that's going to hold you down. Go and pursue your dreams. Your family, that's going to hold you down. Go and pursue your dreams. Leave everything behind. It's the same mindset that led to, and this is true, look it up for yourself, led to many women who became huge feminist icons, leaving their families for themselves. And that type of self-centeredness, that type of egoism is not something that I want my kids, when I have kids, or anyone's kids, to be taught. That's what Wreck-It Ralph preaches. Now, some people might not see it right away, some people might not get it, but that is the overall messaging of the film. And it really it took me a little while after to really process, oh my God, I can't believe that they actually made that message. And I couldn't believe it. And of course, everything works out. And that's also the problem, is that she does this. She leaves everything behind. She leaves her game behind, and then everything's fine. everything works out. Reality doesn't work that way. You can't just abandon people that rely on you. You just can't abandon everything behind you for your own dreams. Yes, you should pursue your dreams, but if you're forsaking others in the process, no, that's not something that needs to be promoted. And that is exactly what Wreck-It Ralph 2 promotes. And that's why it is probably one of my lowest grades. I gave it a C-. It's very close to getting into the D range for me, though, because of the kind of message that it's putting out there.